On a cold December night, Everwood lay beneath a pristine blanket of snow. The twinkling lights of Christmas decorations flickered in the chill wind, casting eerie shadows on the deserted streets. The townsfolk were blissfully unaware of the horror that awaited them. As the clock struck midnight on Christmas Eve, a figure dressed in a tattered Santa Claus suit emerged from the shadows. The once jolly red and white costume now seemed grotesque, stained with an ominous darkness. The only sound was the muffled crunch of snow beneath his boots as he silently approached his first target. The unsuspecting family, nestled by the fireplace, exchanged gifts with joyous smiles. Little did they know that the cheer would soon be replaced by a symphony of screams. The wicked Santa, armed with a gleaming blade, struck without warning. The room was painted in shades of red as the once festive atmosphere turned into a nightmare. As the night unfolded, the malevolent Santa roamed the town, leaving a trail of terror in his wake. The police were baffled as the bodies piled up, each victim marked with a sinister twist of holiday decorations. The once celebrated Christmas spirit now hung in the air like a lingering curse. The townspeople, gripped by fear, locked themselves indoors, hoping to escape the clutches of the murderous Santa. Yet, he seemed to know their every move, appearing in the most unexpected places. A whisper of ho, ho, ho echoed through the chilling winds, signaling the approach of their doom. As the authorities struggled to apprehend the killer, the mystery deepened. Rumors circulated that the malevolent Santa was seeking vengeance for a long-forgotten sin, a dark secret that bound the town in a web of guilt. The desperate search for answers intensified as the night wore on, but the shadow of the vengeful Santa loomed large. In the heart of Everwood, where the laughter of children once echoed through the streets, there was now only the haunting sound of a maniacal Santa, his malevolent laughter mingling with the howling wind. The town, once a haven of holiday joy, now stood as a testament to the terror that can lurk beneath the festive facade. Days turned into weeks, and the town's once thriving community became a ghost of its former self. The specter of the malevolent Santa continued to haunt the dreams of those who survived, each night marked by the echoing screams of the fallen. As the authorities delved deeper into Everwood's past, they uncovered a long-buried secret. Decades ago, a beloved local figure, known for his portrayal of Santa at the annual Christmas parade, had suffered an unjust fate. Falsely accused of a heinous crime, he had perished in prison, his innocence lost to the merciless hands of justice. The vengeful spirit of this wronged soul had risen, its anger manifesting in the form of the malevolent Santa. The town's festive facade had masked a deep-rooted injustice, and now the reckoning had arrived. The townspeople, burdened by guilt, rallied to appease the vengeful spirit, conducting a solemn ceremony to acknowledge the injustice that had tainted their history. As the echoes of their confession reverberated through the town, the malevolent Santa gradually faded into the shadows. The air cleared, and the chilling winds carried away the lingering darkness. Everwood, scarred but not defeated, began to rebuild, vowing never to forget the lesson learned during that fateful Christmas. In the quaint village of Raven's Hollow, a dense fog settled on the eve of Christmas, shrouding the cobblestone streets in an ethereal mist. The centuries-old trees whispered ancient tales as the villagers prepared for their festive gatherings. Little did they know that an ancient evil was about to awaken. As the clock struck midnight, a chilling wind carried eerie laughter through the village square. A figure clad in a ragged Santa Claus outfit emerged, his face obscured by the hood of his tattered coat. The flickering lamplights cast a ghastly glow on his menacing form as he silently stalked the narrow alleys. The Yuletide Nightmare, as the villagers came to call him, struck with ruthless precision. Each victim was chosen with a malevolent purpose, their bodies arranged in grotesque poses, reminiscent of twisted holiday decorations. Panic spread like wildfire as the once joyful celebration transformed into a harrowing spectacle. The village priest, known for his knowledge of ancient lore, delved into dusty manuscripts, seeking clues to the Yuletide Nightmare's origin. Legends spoke of a cursed ritual performed in the village centuries ago, awakening a malevolent spirit that sought revenge during the festive season. As the villagers barricaded themselves in their homes, the Yuletide Nightmare's laughter echoed in the empty streets. It became evident that the ancient curse demanded retribution for sins committed by their ancestors. The priest raced against time, attempting to unravel the mystery and put an end to the nightmare haunting Raven's Hollow. In the heart of the village, where the warm glow of hearths once symbolized unity, there was now only the cold embrace of fear. The once close-knit community found itself torn apart by a malevolent force, and the shadows of the past cast a pall over the spirit of the season. Weeks turned into months, and Raven's Hollow became a place of desolation. The village that once thrived on the spirit of Christmas now languished in the aftermath of the Yuletide Nightmare. The remaining villagers, haunted by the specter of the vengeful Santa, began a desperate quest to lift the curse that gripped their once happy home. The village priest, driven by a sense of responsibility for the tragedy that had befallen Raven's Hollow, delved deeper into the ancient texts. He uncovered a forgotten ritual, one that could appease the vengeful spirit and bring an end to the Yuletide Nightmare. The villagers, weary but determined, gathered in the village square to perform the ceremonial rite. As the incantations echoed through the fog-laden air, a spectral figure appeared before them. The Yuletide Nightmare, once a force of terror, now stood silent and still. The ancient ritual had succeeded, and the village, though scarred, could begin to heal. The curse lifted, the fog dispersed, and the first rays of sunlight illuminated a village reborn. The villagers, weary but determined, gathered in the village square to perform the ceremonial rite. As the incantations echoed through the fog-laden air, a spectral figure appeared before them. The Yuletide Nightmare, once a force of terror, now stood silent and still. The ancient ritual had succeeded, and the village, though scarred, could begin to heal. The curse lifted, the fog dispersed, and the first rays of sunlight illuminated a village reborn. In the bustling city of Eldridge, where skyscrapers touched the winter sky, Christmas was a grand affair. The streets were adorned with dazzling lights, and the air was filled with the melodies of joy. However, beneath the facade of merriment, an ominous presence lurked. A department store, once the epitome of holiday cheer, became the epicenter of the haunting. Every night, the jingling of bells echoed through the empty halls, as if a ghostly orchestra played a sinister tune. Security cameras captured glimpses of a figure in a Santa suit, moving with an otherworldly grace. The haunting jingle, as the city dubbed the malevolent force, left behind chilling scenes of horror. Mannequins were arranged in grotesque poses, their plastic faces frozen in expressions of terror. The once festive decorations became instruments of dread, each ornament a harbinger of doom. The city's elite, gathered for an extravagant Christmas gala, found themselves trapped in a nightmarish game. The haunting jingle infiltrated the event, turning the celebration into a deadly masquerade. As panic spread, whispers of a cursed Christmas carol circulated among the terrified guests. Detective Evelyn Hart, known for her expertise in solving unexplainable cases, took charge of the investigation. The haunting jingle seemed to anticipate her every move, leaving cryptic messages that hinted at a connection between the malevolent Santa and a forgotten tragedy from the city's past. As the city descended into chaos, Detective Hart raced against time to decipher the enigma. The haunting jingle's motives remained elusive, and the city's festive spirit morphed into a chilling atmosphere of suspense. In the heart of Eldridge, the ghostly figure continued to dance through the shadows, leaving a trail of fear that lingered long after the last notes of jingle bells faded away. Days turned into weeks, and the once vibrant city became a labyrinth of uncertainty. The haunting jingle's influence spread like a contagion, seeping into the collective psyche of Eldridge's citizens. Businesses shuttered, and the joyous sounds of carolers were replaced by hushed whispers of dread. Detective Hart, undeterred by the encroaching darkness, delved into Eldridge's history. The cryptic messages left by the haunting jingle pointed to a tragedy buried in the past, a fire that had consumed an orphanage during a particularly harsh winter. The detective's investigation led her to the charred remains of the building, a place long forgotten by the city. As Detective Hart sifted through the ashes of the past, she uncovered a tale of neglect and abuse that had plagued the orphanage. The haunting jingle, it seemed, was the vengeful spirit of an orphan who perished in the flames, seeking justice for the forgotten souls who had suffered in silence. Armed with this revelation, Detective Hart devised a plan to put the haunting jingle to rest. She gathered the city's remaining inhabitants, once bound by fear, now united in a common purpose. The detective led them to the site of the orphanage, where a solemn ceremony was held to acknowledge the pain and injustice that had long festered in the city's shadows. As the final notes of a hauntingly beautiful melody filled the air, the haunting jingle appeared one last time. The spectral figure, once a harbinger of terror, now stood still, bathed in a soft, ethereal light. The city, though scarred by the ordeal, was released from the grip of the malevolent Santa. The fog of fear lifted, and Eldridge began the slow process of rebuilding. Detective Hart, having faced the supernatural and triumphed, became a symbol of resilience for the city. The haunting melody, once a source of dread, transformed into a memorial, a reminder of the collective strength that had emerged from the city's darkest hour. The citizens, though forever changed, carried the lessons learned from the haunting jingle into the future, fostering a newfound sense of community and compassion. If you find this video bone-chilling, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Your support means everything